Do you want to over prepare for your fantasy basketball points league draft? If so, you're in the right place. In this episode, we will be conducting a 12-team mock draft on ESPN. Welcome to the Game Pick Fantasy Basketball Podcast. I am your host, Robin Marks. You can connect with me on Instagram, Twitter, and TikTok at Game Pick Podcast. If it's your first time here and you love fantasy basketball, please consider subscribing to the channel. Now, tonight we're going to be doing a mock draft on ESPN, or this morning, I should say. It is 5 a.m. This is the 7th consecutive week that my nerdy butt has got up in the morning, woke up, came downstairs, had coffee, and conducted a fantasy basketball draft. With that said, if you're like me, you want to win your championship. If you're like me, you're doing anything necessary to get a leg up on your competition. With that being said, we're going to be drafting from the 8th position today. The 8th position. Let's go ahead and jump this draft off. So 7 seconds. I'm drafting from the 8th position. I'm already targeting people like, it looks like Trae Young might be available. Anthony Towns. Let's see how it goes. All right. So first pick is up. That looks like that's my man Guna Tikala, and he goes with Nikola Jokic, which makes a lot of sense. And then with the second pick, we had Team Krog pick LeBron James. That's way too early for me in a points league, a redraft points league to draft LeBron James. Pick 3 with Team 3 is Giannis Antetokounmpo. That might have been a computer pick. Number 4, Luka Doncic. So those two players, Giannis and Luka, I think that's fine for them to go in the top 4 of a draft, right? The outlier for me is LeBron James, and that might kind of screw up the quality of this first round. So we have next up, we have Kevin Durant goes after Luka Doncic. Then we have Joel Embiid. Then we have Trae Young. Now I'm up with 13 seconds left. I got Karl-Anthony Towns on the board. I got James Harden. I haven't drafted James Harden yet in these mock drafts, so I'm going to grab James Harden here. So we have Kevin Durant, Joel Embiid, Trae Young, James Harden. After James Harden, with the 9th pick in the first round, is DeJounte Murray. 10th pick, first round, Karl-Anthony Towns. 11th pick, Steph Curry. 12th pick of the first round to close it out is Jason Tatum. That's very late for Jason Tatum. So I'm really curious to see how this draft plays out. Then we have Fred VanVleet going, and it's my pick. So let me quickly make my pick, and then I'll come back and finish up the recap. We have Ja Morant on the board for points league. I think that's great for him. I would even consider maybe taking him in the 3rd if you could, but I'm going to stay away. I have Devin Booker, Chris Paul available, Paul George. I'm going to go ahead and just grab Devin Booker. So back to the recap. Top of the second round, we have Fred VanVleet. Second pick, we have Donovan Mitchell. That's too early for me. Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, not too sure about that. LaMelo Ball, I think that's, again, well, actually, I like LaMelo there. I'm not mad at LaMelo going 4th in the second round, actually. I think that's tons of value because in some drafts, LaMelo is actually going in the first round. Devin Booker, love that pick because it was my pick. No, not really. I just like Devin Booker. Rudy Gobert, and then Ja Morant goes with the 7th pick in the second round. Now I got my man Skris Khan again. Skris Khan goes with Domantas Sabonis. No, he goes with Jimmy Butler. Guys, stay away from Jimmy Butler. I want nothing to do with Jimmy Butler. I know there's a few players, listen. And this is real talk, bro. Let me talk to you for a minute. So for me, like real talk, don't really believe in like a don't draft list, right? So I wouldn't go into a draft and be like, you know what? I'm not going to take Jimmy Butler or Anthony Davis, period. I wouldn't go into a draft like that. I wouldn't recommend you go into one like that. I don't think that's the most sensible way for a person to win a fantasy league. What you want to do is get value. However, drafting Jimmy Butler where his projections are, in my opinion, is crazy. And you're setting yourself up for a loss and a lot of disappointment. There's a few players, but Jimmy Butler in particular, the reason why is Jimmy Butler on the court is great. The fact of the matter is, every year, literally every single year, Jimmy Butler has a substantial amount of time away from the game. I don't know if he's doing TikToks, he's selling coffee, he got a new hairstyle, whatever it is that's happening with Jimmy Butler, he is not available for you. In the real life playoffs, he's a killer. Jimmy Buckets love it. But in fantasy, not that guy, pal. Just not that guy. Okay, so let's go ahead and get ready for our next pick. We are up with our third pick. This is the third round. Drew Holiday's on the board. Damian Lillard, Tyrese Halliburton has fell. Darius Garland, Zion Williamson. Okay, so typically in this world, I would draft Zion, but I have to grab Damian Lillard just because people are sleeping on Damian, and I got to talk about it a little bit. So Damian Lillard has traditionally been a first round guy, and now he's just falling and dropping in drafts. We got to really correct this. I don't know if it's due to his rankings or what, but it's kind of a mess. Okay, so left on the board, I have Scary Terry Rozier, Kristaps Porzingis, Jarrett Allen, Anthony Edwards, Robert Williams, Russell Westbrook, Anthony Simons. I'm going to go ahead and grab Anthony Edwards here. Let me quickly do the recap, and then I'll come back to Damian Lillard. I want to get back to that point on Damian Lillard. So after Domantas Sabonis went in round 2 at pick 9, Chris Paul went pick 10, Pascal Siakam pick 11, DeMar DeRozan pick 12. Then we started the third round with Paul George. Then we went to Nikola Vucevic at number 2 in the third round. Anthony Davis goes third in the third round. I think the draft projection is starting to make sense for him. Like him going in the third round, I'm okay with that because if he's healthy, obviously Anthony Davis is a first round guy, right? If he's healthy, he's a first round guy, which he's never healthy. So for me, I'm kind of okay with him going in the third round, maybe even mid to late third round. Bam Adebayo, 4th in the third round. I think that's crazy. De'Aaron Fox goes next. CJ McCollum, I think that's too early for CJ. Julius Randle, way too early. Damian Lillard, I think that's too late for him. I don't think Damian Lillard should be going 8th in the third round. Tyrese Halliburton, I think that's a little late for him. Drew Holiday, I think that's about right for ESPN. Darius Garland, Zach LaVine, Brandon Ingram, Zion Williamson goes with the second pick in the 4th round. Miles Bridges goes with the 3rd pick. Way too early. Guys, Miles Bridges has legal troubles. He might not even play. Please. So now let's talk about value. So round 5. So now round 5, 13th pick. Let me see. Pick 56 of the draft total. I gotta grab Kawhi here. I hate drafting Kawhi, but like honestly, at this point, like I just got to. There's a lot of issues that I'll talk about in a minute, but let's get back to the recap. So after Brandon Ingram with the first pick in round 4 was Brandon Ingram was pick 1, and then Zion Williamson pick 2. I have another pick. Let me quickly go ahead and make that. With my round 6 pick, I have either Evan Mobley or Cade Cunningham. I typically take Evan Mobley here, but I'm going to grab Cade. I'm going to reach a little bit for Cade, according to ESPN projections. So back to the recap, guys. Back to the recap. So we got Zion Williamson, Miles Bridges, crazy. Bradley Beal, late for him. Anthony Davis, late for him. Love that steal that I grabbed him. Jonas Valanciunas, that's about right. Terry Rozier, Kristaps Porzingis, Lonzo Ball. Oh, he's hurt. Why? Why are we grabbing him in the 4th round? Chris Middleton, Jamal Murray, Jaylen Brown, Jarrett Allen, Christian Wood. Jarrett Allen started round 5, so that's pick 1, round 5. Christian Wood, Robert Williams, Malcolm Brogdon, D'Angelo Russell, DeAndre Ayton, Clint Capella, Kawhi Leonard, Jakob Poeltl, Russell Westbrook, Anthony Simons, Jonathan Isaac, Tobias Harris, Miles Turner, Nurkic, Lowry, Cunningham, Collins, Anunoby, Draymond Green, Evan Mobley, Wendell Carter Jr., Tyler Hero, Kyrie Irving. Kyrie Irving should not go this late, guys. I know people have concerns about him. Should go this late. Okay, my pick. Let me see what's available. We got Kyle Kuzma, Jeremy Grant, Desmond Bane, Andrew Wiggins, Derek White, Josh Hart, Cole Anthony, Josh Giddey. I'm going to just go ahead and grab my man Desmond Bane. Love Des Bane this year. Wendell Carter Jr., Tyler Hero. Kyrie Irving goes with the 12th pick in the 6th round. Ben Simmons, Marcus Smart, Jaren Jackson, Scotty Barnes, Tyrese Maxey, Colin Sexton. And then my pick again. We got Josh Hart, Klay Thompson, Mikal Bridges, Jalen Brunson, Gordon Hayward, Montrezl Harrell. A lot of funky options here. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to grab Miles Bridges here. Oh, Mikal Bridges. My apologies. Mikal Bridges from Phoenix. Get some defensive stats there. And in most fantasy, on most fantasy formats, you get way more points for steals and blocks. So I love that. Okay, so I was up to Colin Sexton goes in round 7, pick 6. Karis LeVert, Desmond Bane, Kyle Kuzma, Jeremy Grant, Thomas Bryant, Al Horford, Mike Conley, Andrew Wiggins, Bobby Portis, Derek White, Mikal Bridges, Josh Giddey, Josh Hart, Klay Thompson, Cole Anthony, Spencer Dinwiddie, Buddy Hield. We're all caught up. So a couple of things I wanted to talk about. So I talked about Damian Lillard's value dropping. The other thing is grabbing Kyrie Irving. Kyrie Irving, guys, let me get a sip of this coffee. Kyrie Irving is a top, he could be a top 20, top 25, top 50. I'm not sure what level of production we'll get from him this season, but Kyrie Irving is that guy. He is a machine, a maestro. The issue that we faced with Kyrie Irving is his availability. He is not available to play because of different reasons, I should say. It varies because of the complexity of his life and personality and the way he presents himself. But on the court, it's undeniable, man. So him going in, I think he went in the 6th. When did he go? Let's pull that up again just to make sure we're on the same page. That is my pick. Let me check that out first. I don't want to botch this. Okay, so we got Harrison Barnes on the board, Montrezl Harrell, Kevin Porter Jr., not mad at that, Keldon Johnson, Mo Bamba, Franz Wagner. I love Franz Wagner this year. I'm going to reach a little bit. We're going to grab Franz. Love Franz Wagner this year. Let's see if the rookies are still around. And if the rookies are still around, then that's what we're going. That's what we're going for next. So let's see. Doesn't look like. Oh no, Paolo Banchero is here. So Paolo Banchero in the 10th round. Crazy. I love that. I'm taking him every single time. So I just drafted back-to-back rookies. And again, that has to do with ESPN's rankings kind of having those rookies way, way lower than maybe they should be. But, hey, I'll take advantage of that situation every day, all day. I don't think any of my real life draft partners or league members are going to go for that because many of them watch my program so they can get a leg up on me because I give everything that I'm doing, which is kind of becoming a challenge. Like last year, I had some struggles last year because it felt like people were in my head. Maybe, Robin, it's because you're actually filming your entire strategy and sharing it with the internet. That could have something to do with it. So I'm quickly trying to throw some rookies in my queue to make sure I don't lose them. So just going to do that quickly. I threw Shaedon Sharpe, Jaden Ivey, a couple of them that I'm looking at and eyeing. Right now, I'm up, and let's see who's on the board. So we have these are ugly, scary hours right now. So this is it's not sexy right now. So right now I have, I'm gonna go ahead and go to my I'm going to go for Jaden Ivey right now if I can. And then after that, I have 2 more spots, a center spot and a bench spot. So I should actually draft a center. I haven't drafted a center yet. So I'll look to see what center I can actually grab. But let me quickly, let me just take a look and see who's available. So Mason Plumlee. Oh, I love Rashawn Holmes here. Rashawn Holmes is my guy. I'm going to grab him every day, all day, and the day after that. Love Rashawn Holmes here. If I can get Rashawn Holmes in the 12th round, I'm eating. So I got one more pick left, so I'm going to grab one of those rookies. But before we do that, let me do this actual recap. So the last thing we did was, I want to say, roughly around the Buddy Hield area. So Buddy Hield went with the 11th pick in the 8th round. Then we had Seth Curry, Jordan Poole, Jalen Brunson, Gordon Hayward, Norman Powell, Will Barton, Gary Trent, RJ Barrett, Franz Wagner, Harrison Barnes, Sadiq Bey, Montrezl Harrell, Mitchell Robinson. Top of the 10th, Bogdan Bogdanovic, Ricky Rubio. I'm up again. Let me quickly grab mine. James Wiseman is there. I can see Wiseman doing something if he gets the hours. Looney, I like too, but you know, with those rookies, man, because there is so much upside you can get. I'm really interested, but I'm going to grab Wiseman just because I don't have many big men on this roster. So let's go ahead and finish this recap. So Ricky Rubio goes with the 10th pick up. Ricky Rubio goes with the 2nd pick in the 10th round. Reggie Jackson, Keldon Johnson, Paolo Banchero, Kevin Porter Jr., Larry Markkinen, Mo Bamba, Dylan Brooks, Markelle Fultz, Monte Morris, Aaron Gordon, Kelly Oubre Jr., Patrick Beverly, Andre Drummond, Steve Adams, Brandon Clark, Kevin Love. Devin Vassell goes with the 7th pick in round 11. That is criminal. He should go way earlier. Devin Vassell is going to have a great year. Jaden Ivey goes with the 8th pick in round 11. Zubac goes 9th. PJ Washington, 11.10. Robert Covington Jr., Dennis Schroeder. Interested to see what he does in LA. I don't think much is going to happen. Alex Caruso, Devontae Graham, Marcus Morris Sr., Bogdan Bogdanovic, Rashawn Holmes, love it. Darius Baisley, Jordan Clarkson, I don't know. Victor Oladipo, Luguentz Dort, TJ McCollum, Mason. At this point of the draft, everybody's whack. Mason Plumlee, Carmelo Anthony. Is he even on the team? John Wall, Evan Fournier, Tim Hardaway Jr., Rui Hachimura, Hassan Whiteside, Jay Crowder. Alperen Sengun goes with the 7th pick in the 13th round. Talk about value. I don't believe I didn't grab him. That's a note I have to make to self. Then I grabbed James Wiseman, but I should have grabbed Sengun. My mistake. Jalen Suggs, Cameron Johnson, Eric Bledsoe, and Dorian Finney-Smith. Just to recap my team, let's take a look at my team here. My team, let me see. Okay. For my team, I had Devin Booker, and this is not in the order that I drafted them, by the way, guys. Devin Booker, James Harden, Anthony Edwards, Kawhi Leonard, Rashawn Holmes, Damian Lillard, Mikal Bridges, Cade Cunningham, Desmond Bane, Franz Wagner, Paolo Banchero, Jaden Ivey, and James Wiseman. Honestly, that is one of the best mock drafts that I've done. Drafting from the 8th position. This is our first time drafting from the 8th position this year. One thing I really like about this draft is the fact that I was able to grab Harden so late. The thing I don't like about the draft is that I missed out on getting Alperen Sengun. I grabbed James Wiseman instead of grabbing Alperen Sengun. So that's something to make a note of, especially if you're drafting on ESPN. You want to have a list of guys that are tucked deep in the rankings and make sure you bring them up to your queue and draft them where you think they would be a good fit, okay? And speaking of good fits, let's talk about a good fit for me in my life, which is Underdog Fantasy. Underdog is one of the best places to play fantasy sports, including best ball, daily drafts, and pick'em. Start drafting in minutes for a shot at big cash and an enhanced game watching experience. Sign up today and use the code GamePickPodcast, and Underdog will match your first deposit up to $100. It's like getting free money. Don't miss out on your chance to double up from the jump. To sign up, just download the Underdog Fantasy app on Android or iOS. Listen, guys, if you have an idea for a future episode, please do me a favor and drop a comment and let us know. Also, please join our private Discord group if you need help with waiver pickups, trades, dynasty questions. If you're trying to find a league, if you need a league finder, we have a league finder channel in there, the works. All you have to do is hit the link in the description of this episode. Also, don't forget to bang on that subscribe button and hit us with a thumbs up and leave us a review on Apple Podcasts. And don't forget, play the waivers, set your lineups, and watch the next episode, you freaking fantasy nerds.